Well, today is a very exciting day with my dad and uncle reunited on video, or film at least, for the first time in a very long time.
The Simmons brothers, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Simmons and Simmons have done 14 pantomimes together now, about to embark upon our 15th, but the Simmons brothers did an incredible 32 pantomimes together.
Yeah,
Quite amazing.
And I did 3 on my own.
Which
Gets me to 49 pantos.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anyone's working it out mathematically. So this year will be my 50th pantomime, which is why we're doing all these little videos.
Absolutely, and we couldn't let this pass by without getting my Uncle Alan here to talk about all your joint memories, really, from 32 years.
We never
together.
smoked joints while we were doing pantomime.
And I've got no memories about any of them.
Well, that bodes well. But what I was going to start off by saying is, how can you even have anything that stands out from 32 years of pantomimes? Is there anything from all of them, people you've worked with, your favourite venues, the furthest away, or anything, any particular stories that you think stand out from all of those 32 seasons?
I think we've got the idea, Ben.
Right.
You know, the first 2 pantomimes we ever did were at Theatre Royal Bath.
Yeah.
And that really set the seal on learning about theatres.
Sure, yeah.
We were very naive at that point.
Well, you were. I was deeply ensconced in it all.
Because we didn't know what prompt side was, or
Sure.
OP, obviously opposite prompt.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And of course, you
The
start...
teasers, we didn't know what they were till we went to Bath.
Well, Frank Maddox called them teasers,
Tormentors.
but everyone else called them tormentors.
Yeah.
And he said you only use the teasers when you're in the front cloth. You never use them in a full stage.
That's right.
Yeah.
You always have to come in from the wing, further up stage from the wing.
Yeah.
All those sort of rules. You know.
But also, a lot of people won't know, because you were so successful with comedy, those first 2 years you were only really a singing act, weren't you?
That's, yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Because
We
you
were
started
known
off
in
as a
the
singer.
programme of the panto. We were billed as the singing villagers, just the 2 of us. So it's a small village.
And our byline was 2 swinging boys in harmony.
That's right.
It could have been 2 likeable guys, actually. But we decided against that. And Johnny Risco was our agent when he got us Bath pantomime.
Okay, yeah.
And
But do you remember getting the news or finding out?
well,
that...
we auditioned for, it was the day after, or it was the day we finished in Pwllheli summer season with Frank Carson.
Yeah.
And we had a directive from Johnny Risco to go to Bath to audition for the pantomime. Yeah.
So I drove, and we drove all the way from North Wales.
He drove quite badly, actually.
And we had a deadline. We had to be there for...
2:30.
And obviously it was further than we anticipated. And what with traffic, we actually arrived at the theatre at 2:30.
No, at 2 to 3 we got there.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, it
Right.
is. It was 5 to 3.
Right.
So, knowing we were going to be late, I got out and dirtied my hands on the car engine, so as to go into Frank Maddox and say, "I'm ever so sorry, we've had trouble with the car."
That's
And
right.
when I walked into the foyer and said, "The Simmons brothers are here to see Mr. Maddox," he came down the steps and said, "Huh, that's what I call timing." So I thought he was being facetious.
That's right, yeah.
And I said, "I'm ever so sorry, Mr. Maddox, look, the car broke down." He said, "No, this is brilliant. I told the agent to tell you to be here at 3 o'clock.
The agent had told us 2:30, so
Ah,
it worked
clever.
out all right.
Yeah.
But I spent half hour scrubbing my hands before we could audition.
And so, obviously, you had a big history in Bath, but over the years you've done a lot of pantomimes in Birmingham as well.
Yeah,
That's one of the biggest venues, isn't it? The Hippodrome.
The
in
Hippodrome,
Birmingham, yeah.
fantastic theatre, yeah, it is.
But we did the Alexandra Theatre in Birmingham as well.
We did.
Wasn't that with Ken Dodd?
Alexandra was
Yeah.
Ken Dodd.
With Ken Dodd and also with Danny LaRue at the Alex, where we had Lionel Jeffries.
Oh.
He became a great mate, actually, one of the lovely man. He used
Yeah.
to come in our dressing room, most shows actually, and tell us stories of his film exploits. It was brilliant. But he was a lovely guy, Lionel, and he didn't like doing pantomime, did he really? He didn't enjoy it. In fact, do you remember the gag we gave him to do? So when you're on stage, just say, "And it's marvellous, ladies and gentlemen, that tonight we've got the heavyweight champion in the audience, Mr. Henry Cooper." And then he had to say, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, madam." That was the gag. But he we said, don't look at anyone in particular, just do it over people's heads as though there's some way back. But he looked at a woman in the front row.
Yeah, though she did not take it kindly.
Do you have anybody that stands out that all the years you worked with, all the different people, who was there anyone you became really good friends with as a result of working with them in pantomime?
We weren't even friends ourselves.
Wasn't there Ian Smith, the guy who was in Neighbours?
Brilliant Ian Smith,
he stayed with you after that, didn't he?
Yeah, that's why he's never been to this country anymore.
He told us a lovely story. On his day at one of our days off, he hired a car, and his wife was over here with him. Gail. So we drove into North Wales from Birmingham.
Right.
And they decided to have a look round, stay the night in a guest house, and then return to Birmingham the next day. So they drove into whatever resort it was and saw this nice guest house, and it was now tea time, and they rang the bell, and the door was opened by a teenage girl, and she looked at Ian, screamed and slammed the front door. So he stood there twiddling his thumbs and waited, and the door reopened. It was her father, and he looked at Ian and he said, "It is you." And Ian said, "Well, yes, I think it is." So he said, "Oh, please come in, I must explain to you. We're watching Neighbours in a television, on a television in the back." And he said, "You just had a row with Madge and gone out and slammed the door, and now here you are ringing our doorbell." They couldn't get over it.
Oh, brilliant.
The timing was impeccable.
Yeah.
But he was a lovely guy and a good writer as well. He was script editor on Prisoner Cell Block 8.
That's right,
the Australian prison drama.
Another pantomime, we were in Aladdin. We arrived at the theatre, but we didn't meet say hello to the guy who was playing the Emperor. But we heard he'd had a terrible rough night. He'd eaten something that had disagreed with him, and he'd been up all night on the loo.
Yeah.
So he was struggling. So anyway, so we got ready. The panto started. Went down into the wings, waited for our entrance to come up, and the Emperor Pekin had to leave the stage, and he came walking off into the wings, but in a certain manner that I thought, oh, the poor devil. He's still having a lot of trouble. So as he got into the wings, I said to him, "Hello, you're still having trouble?" And he went, "What?" I said, "The way you're walking." That was my characterisation. He was really annoyed. Talking about put your foot on.
Where was that? What panto?
Well, I wasn't going to say.
Oh, okay. Well, you said it was Aladdin. I just wondered what the venue. Oh, okay. Right. I was just thinking other people you did a lot of pantos with. You worked with Jeff Holland a lot.
Oh, what a brilliant day.
Yeah. I remember when we worked with him, he didn't want to get any. He had absolutely no chance of getting anything on his costume because we had to do a slosh scene with it.
Yeah.
He was over the opposite side of the stage. Dad had to have everything happen to him.
That was like
same, we did with Danny LaRue. The same instruction. Don't get Danny messed up at all. So we had to get it, and it had to end where we had to position ourselves that Danny would pick up the custard pie and turn to put it in your dad's face. But you would duck, and I'm standing slightly behind. It would hit me full in the face. Well, I did it twice daily for I don't know how many weeks, no trouble at all. And this particular performance, as the pie came towards me, I breathed in. Absolutely ridiculous.
Nightmare.
So I breathed in all this foam.
Oh, God.
Well, I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to die on the stage. So I just ran off into the wings, straight into the dressing room. And face in the sink, trying to clear my airways. Well, dreadful.
That's frightening.
It was.
Yeah.
And in the evening, I took myself up to A&E.
Oh, yeah.
To ask for an X-ray because my lungs were really
inflamed.
And they said there's no point in X-raying you because nothing would show up. It was an irritant to the lungs. And calm down.
So at least your lungs are clean.
I can remember having a bad cough and damaging one of my ribs, and had to be on stage with Dad in a scene with Ugly Sisters, and I was supposed to stand in the middle, and they were going to do like a wiggle and hit me from either side. And because I'd injured myself, I went round telling everyone I might interact with in the show, be careful because I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't pick you up, I'm not going to bend over there. And I forgot to see them. And as it came to it, I was on stage. I remember thinking, oh no, I can't tell them not to do it in the middle of the scene now. I'm going to just have to accept it. And sort of stood there and braced myself for this pain, trying not to let on. It was excruciating for about 5 seconds. I was in all the years you worked together, did you ever have to miss any show?
Your dad did. He got chicken pox.
That wasn't pantomime.
No,
that was in Somerset.
No,
I've never missed a pantomime.
Never ever missed a pantomime?
No,
wow.
I did. I was being sick. Again, I'd eaten something.
In Swansea Grand.
Yeah, and they had buckets in the wings for me to come off and use. And the star of the show was a great old-time comedian called Derek Roy.
Right.
And he said to me, "You being sick all the time?" I said, "Yeah, terrible." He said, "Brandy and port." I said, "What?" He said, "Have a brandy and port." I said, "Oh, just the thought of that." He said, "I promise you, it will work like magic."
This is in the interval of the show.
Yeah.
He said, "In fact, my girlfriend, we were sitting in a cinema in South Africa," because he lived in South Africa for a while. He said, she suddenly turned to me and said, "Oh, my guts," which I thought was a wonderful turn for his girlfriend to use. And he said he got her a brandy and port and it worked like magic. And I have to admit, it does work like magic.
Within 20 minutes, it's like he'd been swinging the lead. Like nothing was wrong with it.
Well, there you go.
Mind you, I was out my mind with drink.
Don't say we never give you good tips here. If you've got an upset stomach,
yeah, good
brandy and port.
I have told several people that in later shows.
Yeah, but it is
and
funny.
bought them the brandy and port, which is a damn nuisance because it costs quite.
It must be this sort of slightly bizarre, slightly secret fact, because anyone I've been with when you've told has gone, "What? Oh, what's that? Oh no, I don't want that." Like your reaction.
Yeah. No, it certainly did work that day, but. Yeah, I think that's the worst. I've had a migraine in pantomime as well, and suddenly realised how rough Alan used to be.
Yeah,
sort of knocking me about, sort of thing.
We've spent a lot of time talking about sort of injuries and illnesses, but are there any good times you had in pantomime?
Another time, I had said hello to the principal girl.
Why is there a lot of stories where you hadn't said hello to someone? You just kept yourself to yourself.
Yeah, secrete myself into the theatre.
You haven't established this personality.
Anyway, so I came off stage and there's the principal girl standing in the prop corner waiting for her cue to go on.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hello, how are you?" And she said, "Why?" And I think it was one of the few times I was sort of lost for words.
What a strange response.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why? Amazed.
Oh, you what?
What about other sort of big names you work with? Obviously, working with Ken Dodd must have been fun.
Oh,
but
brilliant.
he has a reputation, or did that only sort of come about later for his shows lasting a ridiculous amount of time? How was that at the pantomime?
No, people still say to us, I don't believe that. We finished at 1:50 every night with him in panto, and he did practically the whole of the second half. I mean, the panto finished, and then it was his act.
Such a strange thing, thinking of a panto story, then Ken Dodd's act.
He brought his clock from his kitchen, so Sibby, or Anne, his wife, widow, said.
Yeah.
And it was on the top of the piano in the pit, and he could see the time, so he knew exactly.
And every time we came down, but he was a great character. Des O'Connor, we did 3 pantomimes with Des.
Yeah.
And we did 4 pantomimes with Danny LaRue. We did a pantomime with John Inman, and the great Bill Maynard was in that pantomime, and Susan Morn, Bobby's girl. So of course we did 2 pantomimes with this man, Richard Bryars.
Yeah, Richard.
Who was playing Dane, which is not an easy thing to do.
Where was that?
The first one was in Norwich, and the second one was in Croydon, the Ashcroft.
Yeah, that's right.
Obviously, you worked with some big names in panto, but you worked with some slightly bizarre names as well. When you said Garfield the Cat, you worked with Cyril the Swan in Swansea.
Yeah, that's right.
Drum the Car in Birmingham.
Oh yeah, I've forgotten that. Yeah.
Any others like that? Any sort of characters that aren't
4
actual
real sheep in Bath.
Yeah.
4 real sheep.
Yeah.
Real sheep.
And the leader of the 4 sheep was Bill. a sheep called Bill, and he used to wander on stage, wander down to the footlights, and look like he was looking out, counting the audience.
Yeah.
He used to just look round at them.
You think about ponies or horses in Cinderella. I've never heard of sheep in a panto.
No,
The direction was if the sheep were on stage and they misbehaved and did anything, then the principal boy had to come forward. They'd close the number ones and she'd do her song while the stagehands cleared up the mess that they'd made. So if we heard her singing, we knew what...
Oh, yeah, sure.
that was great. Eric Sykes was in this one. He was the Baron Harder.
That
The
must have
second
been great working with him.
was brilliant.
Yeah.
Another great guy, Eric Sykes. And Peggy Mount was the fairy godmother.
Peggy Mount told us that she got the taxi one night to the theatre, and the taxi driver said, "Didn't you used to be Peggy Mount?"
On another occasion, he actually said, "Are you Peggy Mount?" She said, "Yeah." He said, "I thought you were dead." Great line.
She got all the compliments.
Yeah.
Well, I think we could sit and talk for hours about all your memories from pantomimes.
Yeah, well, I think we should.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, it's going to be tough to edit this down. Maybe we should do a sort of special longer edition as well.
Or cut it into 2 editions.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
But it's been amazing. Thanks so much for sharing everything.
How much do we get?
We'll go into that later, off camera. But yeah, so the Simmons brothers reunited.
Could I have a brand, with the way I'm feeling now, could I have a brandy and port?
Will you say hello to me when we come into the theatre? See you soon. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Dreams come true and couplets rhyme in the land of pantomime.